Gravity Falls could still come back in 2020 of summer.
No, it really won't. Hey guys, I'm back with you today, and this day we're going to do something kind of different. This is actually going to be a commentary video. I have never done anything like this before, but this video made by, I think his name is Kalopi. He is known as like an animation fan that makes really bad animation related videos. This video kind of hit the wrong spot for me because as a child I watched Gravity Falls, and I'll explain this more later, but he made a video on Gravity Falls that said something about season 3, and honestly I thought it was full with misinformation and weak arguments. So today I'm going to talk about that because it's really disheartening to me. It's really disheartening. Let's get to it.
Guys, there's new interviews. There is literally proof in this video, guys. You're not going to want to miss this. Guys, take a look.
Or could you confirm or deny that a season 3 is secretly in the works?
Check out my poker face.
Okay, first of all, I dare you to take a shot every time he says guys. Honestly, actually don't, because I think if you did, you would probably die of alcohol poisoning. Sorry. And for the interviews, I've seen one, and he didn't confirm it. He said, "Look at my poker face," and I bet if we had some more context behind that, it would mean something like, no, there's not going to be a season 3. But this is honestly probably the strongest evidence he has in the whole video, which is kind of sad because it neither confirms nor denies it. It's just kind of there.
With the year already winded down and it being 2020, we're all wondering, where is Gravity Falls season 3? You know, where is that last season? Where is the new season of Gravity Falls? I thought we were supposed to get something about Gravity Falls.
Wait, we were supposed to hear something about season 3? What? We were supposed to hear something? Do you have proof that Alex himself said there should be a season 3? What? Is there supposed to be something? Is he supposed to tell you?
Well, guys, I got some great news in this video. We got interviews from the creator himself, and we even have testimonials and footage, literal footage. Yes, you heard it right, guys. We have supposed footage of, things that may be the 3rd season of Gravity Falls in this video.
Dude, what? We have actual footage. We have actual footage. How many times do you have to repeat that? I am so just, what? Why? Why do you, you're saying nothing basically besides, dudes, we have evidence. You could just say that and move on. Why do you draw it out so much? It's almost like you're, trying to make up for lost time. Also, let's just mention that you seem to have said things that may be Gravity Falls Season 3. You will see, just listen to that, things that may be Gravity Falls Season 3. This will come in handy later, of course, but it's frustrating. Also, where's the interviews? Where's these interviews you're talking so much about? Does Alex go in depth about how season 3 is going to be a thing? I haven't seen any of that yet. Please show your evidence.
2016 has passed by and we had no Gravity Falls.
What do you mean we have no Gravity Falls? Now you're just lying. Because the last episode, from what I remember, came out in 2016. So right now you're just straight up lying. Like, you're getting your facts wrong. You shouldn't be making a video about what your speculations are if you're getting the actual facts wrong.
2017 passed and we had no news of Gravity Falls. 2018 passed, we got comic books, but no new season. And finally 2019 that just passed, no season 3.
No new season yet. Oh no. It almost seems like it's done. The series done. Whoa, that's so interesting. Also, I mean, if you're really wanting a season 3 but not reading or doing any other content, you're not even interested in it, like, do you really want a season 3 just because you want to watch it, or do you want to explore the world more? If you want to explore the world and the relationships more, maybe you should check out the other content.
Now people may be wondering, people may be even sad. They may be wondering, Kolobi, what happened? Where is that 3rd season that you promised? Well,
Excuse me, are you the creator of Gravity Falls? Did you create it? Are you responsible for it? Are other people thinking that you're responsible for season 3? I don't get it. Why are people asking you when it's coming out? You don't know. Obviously, you are not the creator of the thing, and I feel like you're kind of taking credit for pushing season 3 or creating it, and I don't feel on board with that at all. It makes me upset because if I was in Alex's shoes, I would be upset that you're taking responsibility for the possibility of a season 3 of something that's probably one of your greatest works yet. My point is, you can't make promises for somebody else's work. You can't make promises for Alex's work because he spent most of his time and energy making that. It is not your responsibility. It's not your promise. You can't promise that.
Is the Owl House, which is supposed to come out very, very soon. If you're watching this video, it's coming out literally in a couple days. So, the creator is working on all these new shows, and guess what? This show, The Owl House, is actually going to be on Disney, Disney XD, whatever. So this is something you got to think about, you guys. The creator is working on another show?
I'm sorry, but contrary to your belief, working on a show with the same company does not mean that it is significant. It doesn't mean anything. This is pretty much useless knowledge until you mention what afterwards. And why are you so surprised he's working on another show, voicing another show? It doesn't make sense to me because most people who are in that industry like to work on multiple shows. They don't have one and then that's it.
Just keep that in mind. I mean, even looking at the art styles and comparing the two shows together, they have a very similar art style.
For a guy who does a lot of videos on, animation, saying this is a very similar art style is very unprofessional of you, honestly. I don't see them having that similar of an art style, honestly. The only things that are similar are like maybe the head shapes, but the eyes and just the movement is so much different, and I find it more similar to stuff like Star versus the Forces of Evil or something like that, instead of Gravity Falls, which is much more, I don't know, cartoonish and characterized than more realistic.
Guys, the people that worked on Gravity Falls, the artists, the background artists, they are working on this new show because, I mean, well, Gravity Falls ended, so what are they going to work on?
Okay, first off, like I just said, the styles are very, very, very different, right? So let's keep that in mind. I know that many artists can work on different, projects with different styles. So let's go to our next point, which is, yeah, you're wrong. I looked it up on Google. I didn't deep dive or anything, but it looked like the only artists that worked on Gravity Falls that also worked on Owl House were Alex and the creator of this show, who was a storyboard artist for Gravity Falls. Also, I find it kind of insulting that you would say that about these artists that worked on Gravity Falls. Like, what else are they gonna do besides work on the Owl House? They can work on other things. They can work on other animations from other studios, from other places. They don't have to work on the Owl House if they don't want to. I find it insulting to their career. They're not only there because of Gravity Falls.
And my prediction is that there's going to be a crossover with Gravity Falls. Yes, Dipper Pines, Mabel, we're going to see a crossover in this. And guys, it's going to be awesome. This is on Disney, so they're allowed to do it. So I don't want to hear any criticism saying that, oh, you know, it's copyrighted. Well, this is Disney, the same network. So
is there a clip I can use that says, "You have no proof," or something like that? Because, yeah, that fits here. You don't have proof. What proof have you given us? Oh, they work from the same studio, therefore it means they must do the crossover. No, that's not how it works always. Each of them are their own individual worlds made by different people, different creators, and even though they might be friends and might be in the same studio doesn't mean there's going to be a crossover. Being in the same studio with the same company doesn't mean that they are going to be in the same universe. Also, how does this support your argument that there's going to be a season 3? I don't see any proof that there's going to be a season 3, and even if there was a crossover, that would just be more content, right? That wouldn't be a season in and of itself. So I'm curious, where's your argument for there's going to be a season 3? Or are you arguing there's going to be more content? Because yes, I agree, there is going to be more content. There has already been more content, including journals and many books, comic books. And it's just, what's your argument here?
So I definitely think, you know, when I was on Gravity, I did everything I could to try to represent storytelling that didn't talk down to kids, and it's been really exciting to be on the Owl House.
So here the creator is literally saying that he's, legitimately working and helping them on this new cartoon, which looks pretty awesome, by the way. And of course, he's telling his stories about Gravity Falls, and just saying that, it's going to be some adult themes and stuff like that in this new cartoon. It's not just going to be some joke. It's going to be some pretty crazy storytelling. And guys, you better tune into that, because I know for a fact Gravity Falls, at least it's going to be littered all over it. But
just because he's helping on a show doesn't mean there's going to be a crossover. That's just a fact of life. Many creators work on many different shows. This can be seen with the creator of Invader Zim. He worked on another show recently, and he worked on a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle short, and there was no reference to Invader Zim at all. So just because you work on a show doesn't mean there's going to be a crossover. He didn't say this show was more adult either. He said that the storytelling of the show didn't talk down to kids. That is different. I think that shows more maturity in a show, but that doesn't mean it's more adult, I should say. And I mean, just because they are similar in that way doesn't mean there's going to be a crossover either. Just because of those 3 points you've already mentioned doesn't mean there's going to be a crossover.
guys, don't worry. This is not even the full evidence that Gravity Falls is back. I mean, we want a season 3. We don't just want a crossover, right? But
you know it's bad when you know you have to call yourself out on your BS. Yeah. Obviously, you mentioned that you are focusing on a season 3, not a crossover. Remember that. We are focusing on season 3, not a crossover.
come back. Guys, let's take a look at this interview.
I do enjoy people drawing Gravity Falls and Rick and Morty crossovers because I'm friends with Justin Roiland, so.
If you are unfamiliar with Rick and Morty, it's an adult cartoon. And guys, the creator is friends with the people that made that show, and they're going to be implementing some crossovers, in my opinion.
Okay, again, in what universe is being friends with someone who is also a creator going to inherently make a crossover? Like, I know there's that one scene where the cup, pen, and notebook fall through the portal that came from Gravity Falls. It's a whole thing. Look it up yourself if you're so interested. But I don't think there's going to be a full-on crossover, and that's many reasons. One of them being the studios are completely different. Just because you are friends with someone doesn't mean you're going to make a crossover. And I'm pretty sure Adult Swim and Disney don't want to collab anytime soon. Oh, and will you look at that? Look at that. You just went back on your word already. You are a hypocrite. Remember when you said you want to talk about a season 3? Well, you're talking about a crossover again. Oh, what a shame. I'm so confused for you.
Let's take a look at some crazy footage that's been leaked.
Okay, yeah, fine. But let's make it interesting. If your adventure sucks and we bail halfway through it, you lose the right to bitch about all future adventures. Plus, you have to do my laundry for a month.
Could this be the secret season that we've been looking for?
Excuse me, what? You can't be real. Okay, this guy has to be a troll. You can't be real with this. Dude, like, that's obviously so fake. It's a scene from another Rick and Morty episode where Rick wants to go on an adventure, but Morty wants to go on his other adventure, and Rick places a bet that his adventure will be stupid. And obviously there's redrawn fake things, like Dipper's hat doesn't have the classic pine tree on it, and Stan's what's it called, hat? The hat is blue instead of red, so obviously this is fake and you're fake.
Or could this be a crossover? Or could this be a fan animation? You know, there's 3 possibilities. But could this really, I mean, this looks kind of legit, except that some things are off in that, which I'm pretty sure you can tell. But if Gravity Falls were to cross over with Rick and Morty, that wouldn't be that far-fetched. I mean,
It's none of the above. It's just someone editing it to make it look cool, I guess. I'm very peeved almost that he thinks that this is legit, because it's very obviously not. It's just edited together. And also, yeah, you even mentioned it. The things in there are off. Some things are off. And I think, like I mentioned earlier, I think a crossover of these two would actually be very far-fetched, considering one is a show made for kids, and the other is a show primarily for adults.
when we look at the older seasons and episodes of Rick and Morty, we already see Bill Cipher. We even see, you know, Dipper Pine's hat in some scenes, but that's debatable. But yes, these guys, they definitely, the creators, know each other, and maybe there's a crossover in the future for this season of Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty's not over, the new season just came out, and so maybe there's going to be a crossover. That's my, you know, prediction.
Okay, yeah, like mentioned earlier, there are Easter eggs in each, but they're just Easter eggs. And maybe the Bill sign, I don't know, is also an Illuminati and is on the dollar bill. Are they a reference to Bill Cipher too? Is it gonna come into American politics? Is there gonna be an American politic Gravity Falls crossover? I don't know, dude. Dipper's hat is apparently controversial showing up in there. I don't know what that means. I don't want to look into it. If it's controversial, then it's probably on the fence. That means for now I'm not going to take it as true. And also, just because they're friends doesn't mean they're going to make a crossover. How many times do I have to say this? Just because they're friends, they're not. That doesn't mean they're going to make a crossover. They're from different studios. It's a kids show and adults show. That's honestly the least likely one of the two crossovers you've mentioned.
Could be a twister.
And if these two did cross over, it wouldn't be that hard to implement the same humor. Of course, Rick and Morty is a little bit more on the edgy side, a little bit more, adult show, adult humor, but Gravity Falls had some pretty adult humor itself. And of course, the network kind of centered a little bit, so it would not be that hard to implement Rick and Morty and Gravity Falls. Plus, it would seem like they are in the same universe. And I would even go as far as to say the Owl House is the same universe as, Gravity Falls. That's what I think. And if not, same dimension, whatever, how Star vs. the Force of Evil, you can travel dimensions, there's different planets, different, just galaxies that we don't know about. So yes, it can all be connected at the end of the day. It's not that hard to, figure that out.
Except it is hard, because they're from two different worlds. They're from two different animation studios. One of them is an adult show with adult humor that's very dark and raunchy. The other is from a kids network with some adult humor, but it's mostly kid humor for kids. And, it's gonna be really hard to argue that they're in the same universe. There's nothing really supporting that claim or evidence besides, certain Easter eggs here and there. Even then, yeah, you could argue that, they're just different dimensions. You can argue every cartoon is just a different dimension. You can argue that in real life, but doesn't mean that it's going to be true, and doesn't mean there is going to be a crossover. It doesn't mean there's a connection between them.
Now, guys, throughout the years, I know there's critics. I know there are people saying, well, Kolobi, you never address the criticism of, you're just not coming back. Well, people have posted all over the place. If you see Kolobi Productions saying that Gravity Falls is, coming back, blah, 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 just ignore it. It's just speculation. Guys, if it's so much speculation, then tell me why the creator himself is still posting about Gravity Falls on his Twitter till this day. Literally talking about season 3 on his Twitter. He doesn't sound that agitated about talking about season 3. I mean, people say, oh, he's so tired of talking about then why is he still tweeting about it and, making jokes about it? It's just something to think about. The critics have been disproven again.
Honestly, how does this disprove anything anybody has been saying, or I have been saying? No, that wasn't a real comeback. Alex posted there for posts on Twitter that there's a season 3, partially as, a joke. He posts stuff because, it was a big part of his life. It was something that he worked on and an artwork he perfected, and people are still finding puzzles and stuff about it today. I would be posting stuff all the time too if I was proud of something that I made like that.
But anyway, guys, let's go back to the evidence, back to the proof that season 3, it's possible that this thing can come out this summer. Yes, you heard it right. There is a possibility that Gravity Falls, anything is possible. And a lot of people don't believe that, but there is a possibility that this show could come back.
Where is your proof? Where is your proof? Where is your proof? How do you know it's coming out this summer? How do you know it's possible that it's coming out this summer? Do you know how long this takes to make? Do you know how long it takes to make an episode? How do you know it might come out this summer? It doesn't make sense. Do you have some insight? There's nothing. You have nothing to support this argument. Absolutely nothing.
What do you guys think of the evidence so far? I mean, I think it's looking pretty good. If you think about it, remember the last words we heard on Gravity Falls. See you next summer. See you next summer means that when the show will return, it's gonna return in summertime.
Okay. When they say see you next summer, maybe they meant something really sweet, like, oh, don't worry, see you next summer, like as a thing to the character and not to the audience. Like the audience should, I don't know, enjoy the ending. This is just...
Guys, we just started out the year, January, so summertime's kind of a ways away, but halfway through the year, Let's keep our eyes open. Let's keep our ears peeled. Let's keep our ears, open completely. Let's keep our eyes open and clicked open. Let's make sure that we are listening and watching everything that comes out with Gravity. Because we had comics come out. We got, but when they announce that season 3 of this show, and we see Dipper and Mabel grown up, or they could just continue where they left off, we don't know. But when it comes back out in summertime, and that trailer drops, guys, we're gonna know that we believed and trusted this entire time.
I sped it up so you guys don't have to listen to that whole thing slow and at his normal speed the whole time, but it's just literally saying nothing. You are literally saying the same thing, but within a 30-second time limit. Dude, what the heck, dude? Maybe you are just trying to compensate for time so you can get it monetized. Yeah, I saw ads in this. Why?
Guys, take a look at this, the final evidence.
There aren't any Gravity Falls shorts currently in the works, but anything can happen.
Well, there you have it, folks. Anything can happen. Even the creator himself said anything can happen. There's no shorts or anything in the workings, supposedly, was what he said, but anything can literally happen. That's not what I said, that's what he said. I didn't put those words in the creator's mouth. He said that himself.
Whoa, anything can happen? Anything, Mr. President? Okay, I'm sorry. I had to do that. He meant the shorts, right? He even mentioned, I don't plan any shorts coming out soon, but anything can happen. So he probably meant the shorts, not a whole entire season that takes 6 months to make. I'm going to repeat that. It takes 6 months to make it. I'm pretty sure we would have heard something already if it was in the making. Oh, dude. It doesn't mean there's going to be another season.
So guys, Gravity Falls could still come back. There is just plethora of evidence all over the place. But at the same time, I will give you guys the benefit of the doubt. It does seem like there is no evidence, even though there is evidence. So we'll just have to kind of wait and see. I know it seems like, oh, it's coming back in 2017, it's coming back in 2018, it's coming back in 20... Guys, when it actually comes back, at least the people that know, we know that we just believe that it was going to come back, and we already seen the evidence. I mean, it's littered all over. We just got to wait for these crossovers. We just got to wait and see what happens. We got to wait for the announcements, and when it comes back, boy, oh boy, we made it, boys.
What evidence? It's not coming back. You say right after, oh, people can see this as not evidence. Yeah, because it's not. It's really just strings of information that you manage to tie together somehow to make your argument. It's not even compelling. I think it's only compelling to children, honestly, at this point. Just don't wait. Don't wait. And stop being so rude. Oh, you're so mean. You're saying, oh, you can believe whatever you want, but you know who's right. Oh, that's so mean. That's so rude. Alright, this is my time for my final thoughts. And what do I think of it? This is an awful video. I don't like it. I mean, the editing's good and the voice is way better than mine, but that's okay. Because it has very weak arguments in it and no concrete evidence. Absolutely none. No, nothing, just nothing from artists, nothing from the creator himself. It's just kind of like I said earlier, stringing together stuff that isn't or shouldn't be related into a string of what you call evidence and what I call just random facts. And I think that we should not be worrying about a season 3 and worry about the other content that's coming out. Obviously, Alex has made it a priority to come out with new content for his fans, and I think that's very important. Also, do you guys remember how burnt out Alex was after season 2? I don't think this stuff should be posted or this stuff should be shared because this artist spent so much of his time that he actually burnt himself out on a series. And I think he should be able to take a break without backlash or without being pressured to do more seasons. That just seems very wrong to me. And last thing is, maybe I don't want a season 3. Think about it. A season 3 would just ruin the ending of season 2 had. Season 2 had a giant impact, and it felt whole. It felt complete. It felt like, a good ending to a series, and I think we should leave it at that. Honestly, I think we should just leave the series as it is and have more content of other fields come out. Well, thank you guys for watching, and if you liked it, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.